I finally have had some success in cutting out mostly YouTube out of my life. Previously, I already had some success with Instagram. The main thing here, I think, is to have a feed blocker in the browser, and also to try to not ever install Instagram on one's phone, which I sometimes have to do because, well, I do a little bit of social media, so I have to sometimes create new social media channels. And the question is then, should I also post to Instagram? And thereby I create an Instagram channel, thereby I visit the page, etc. But what I actually wanted to talk about is that now I've managed to abstain from YouTube for quite a few days again. So throughout the last years, throughout basically the beginning of YouTube in 2000, I think it's roughly 2007, and 2007 I was 11 years old. So initially YouTube was basically just trash, one could say. And then a couple of music videos, and then the first musicians, for example, popped up. I can remember Alex Gott doing ridiculously good covers that I would want to listen to, but also, what if I could create something like this? But then YouTube became more and more interesting, and also my life in many ways, sometimes at least, began to fall apart. And so, possibly also due to a lower average functional IQ, possibly mostly due to regenerational issues, I began to kind of be magnetically drawn more and more to YouTube. And there is a kind of very devilish loop, I think, that is happening, which is that if there is the circadian cycle, so basically the alertness potential increases through sleep and then it declines throughout the day. And one gets more and more tired until, again, basically this happens. So then on top of this, there are ultradian cycles, which in terms of sleep are called sleep cycles. And when awake, they are called basic rest activity cycles. Now, this research seems to be pretty niche and nobody knows about it. And also, maybe there are not that many papers on these Bragg cycles. Nonetheless, I think at least I can kind of observe them in me, and so I'm talking about these. So the trap I think that is happening is the following. In order to have some cognitive control, to be able to decide what to do, one needs to be kind of above a certain threshold of alertness, which now could be described or could be measured also in terms of basically functional IQ. So while as normal IQ is kind of the peak measurement one can get, functional IQ would then be the IQ at any point in time. So basically at the end of a day, one might only have like 40% of one's IQ left, or for most people probably more like 70 to 80%. But for me, the fluctuations seem to be quite large. So more like sometimes dipping below 50%. So let's assume basically the average IQ score of 100, and if we go down 50%, well, that's then 50. Now maybe I don't go that low, I don't know. Possibly not. But I think at least a drop of 20% would be quite possible. So in the last couple of years, I sometimes have been in a state, also combined with nutritional stress and problems with neurotransmitters as well as hormones, which I now can kind of reconstruct, maybe. I have been in states in which I basically for hours could do nothing else but watch Netflix, YouTube, etc. And this is ridiculous, because it's not what I wanted to do. So what is preventing me? Basically my alertness is too low to basically have enough cognitive control to kick myself